Ladies and gentlemen, I have Fumilai, did I pronounce this correctly? Fumilayo, and DJ next to me. And those folks are all the way from Dance Parade. As you can see, it's a small print, May 18 in New York City. It's going to be 13th of the annual parade, and we're going to find out what is it and how does it work. Can you please introduce yourself and kind of tell a little bit what makes you, perfect person to speak about the dance parade?
Hi, my name is Fumilayo Chesney, and I am a dance director. I direct a Fuchsia dance company. Fuchsia means fierce, undulating spirits have arrived, and we have arrived. And literally, it's euphoria when Dance Parade comes around because we get a chance to showcase our talent. And we get a chance to share with so many people that we have things in common with. We're all dancers.
Okay, cool. DJ, what is your role with the organization?
So my name is DJ McDonald, and my primary role is curator, but I also the Grand Marshal liaison.
I see on your T-shirt you're a little bit of dance police.
Well, this is part of the origin of the parade. Both Fumi and I have been in the parade from the very beginning, when it began in 2007, partially as a protest and an organized demonstration of the fact that dance is an expressive performing art, contradicting the statement of the New York State Supreme Court judge, who in that year ruled that the city's cabaret law could stand because social dancing was not considered an expressive art form. So our attitude was, oh, you don't think it's expressive? You want to see expressive? We'll put 10,000 people in the street and see how you like that.
That's right.
And that's what we've been doing every year for 10 years. It's the biggest single-day dance event in the world, as far as we know. Mm-hmm. It runs from 1 p.m. on the Saturday before Memorial Day. It's always the same Saturday in the calendar every year, before Memorial Day weekend, the weekend before that, that Saturday. From 1 p.m., the parade goes till about 4 down to Tompkins Square Park. Parade begins at 21st Street and Broadway. It's on the map here, although you probably won't be able to see it.
We'll attach it.
Yeah. And it goes down Broadway to the west side of Union Square, down University, makes a left turn on 8th Street, goes all the way across St. Mark's Place to Tompkins Square Park, where we then have a 4-hour free festival where you can see Fuchsia and you can see 60 other dance groups perform on one of the 5 stages that we have. This is all free and available to the public, and that goes till 6:55 p.m., at which point our sound permit is over and we shut it all down. But this happens once a year, as I said, probably the biggest single-day dance event in the world. There's a grandstand right next to the Cooper Union Foundation building at what's now called Astor Plaza, where Astor Place comes in, where the big cube is. Mm-hmm. And that's where there's a reviewing stand. We call that 42nd Street because each group that wants to do it has 40 seconds to perform. So that's your 42nd Street. And then continues down to the park. So that's a sort of snapshot of how the parade works, and it works the same every year. We have 4 grand marshals. I recruit them. This year we have 2 Tony Award winners. We have Bill T. Jones, who created the music of Fela on Broadway. He's won 2 Tony Awards for choreography. Byork Lee, another Tony Award winner. Our first Asian dance grand marshal. Louis Mofsey, our first Native American Grand Marshal, and this year we'll start with a big opening ceremony, and I'm hoping Fumi is going to be in the circle dance that we'll do before the ribbon cutting, led by Grand Marshal Louis Mofsey. And then in honor of the immigrants that make New York what it is, DJ Dara is our 4th Grand Marshal. He's Irish by birth and now lives here. So that's a little bit of what the parade is all about. Each of those people will be on a float.
DJ, if by now I think some of the audience would be interested to participate and be part of this, is there any particular life hack of how they can become a part of it? What time should they come in? How much it costs to participate? Like, what is the and the folks who just want to come and watch it for the first time, like maybe advice: should they bring water? Should they bring a chair? Like, should they bring anything particular that makes the parade experience more exciting and easier to sustain?
I'm happy to answer that, but I'd like Fumi first to answer. How to register for the parade as a participant,
Yes.
like you do? How do you do that?
Well, to register as a participant, you have to just give $50,
Okay.
and you send it in a couple of months before the show, and that's it. Per group,
Per group.
$50, which is nothing, because you get so much exposure.
How many people in the group? Like 10 people?
My group has 6 to 10, depending on the day, and we have live musicians. We do Congolese dance, which is Central African, but I also am an educator working with the Department of Education in schools. So when I work in the schools, I do every dance. But for my dance company, we focus on Congolese Central African dance.
There are so many dance schools in New York, and everybody teach dance. Like any street, you would see a couple of dance schools. What is the advantage of being part of the parade and having your own group in the parade? Like, for example, I do fashion shows during the parades. Like, let's say the Halloween parade is free, and the right after your parade, the Mermaid parade is coming. So there are some parades that really encourage people to participate, and I think it's really great to show when models can do the runway walk during the parade, and it gets a lot of attention. And some of the models actually know how to dance as well. What is the advantage of being for you group? Do you find maybe new clients, new students? Like, do you get some promotion out of this? Why do you do this?
Okay, first,
Besides that you love it.
First, because I love it, of course. And then the next thing, just to be aligned with Dance Parade and what they're about, it kind of goes with my mission statement for my dance company. As well, it also adds incentive for my dancers who we do classes all year and we rehearse and do shows. But when this comes up, we get revved up because we have months and months of rehearsal. And also it helps the classes because the class sizes improve because people are interested in joining the parade, and so they come to class and get the choreography. And it's just great promotion for the company.
Okay.
And
Go ahead.
as far as the size of the groups, they range from upwards of 200. We've had groups come in with more than 200 people, and we have groups that come from as far away as Kansas City. From Japan, we've had come all the way to New York to perform as part of the parade. We have a number of groups that come up every year from Fairfax County, Virginia, make a 5.5-hour bus ride into Manhattan, dance the entire parade because it's part of their religious devotion. They belong to societies, fraternidad societies of San Simon and Caporales, and they dance the entire parade. It's a mile and a third, and they can have 60 people or 80 people at a time, gendered men and women. The men dance with the men, the women with the women, and this is part of their religious devotion. It's every kind of dance. We are the embodiment, the moving embodiment of the ideals of diversity, equity, so that's what we do, and equality. So and inclusion, and that's what it is. As far as people watching the parade, or if you want to be a sponsor, you mentioned the fashion group. We do have a fashion sponsor this year, D-Web Designs. She's a dancer. She does American tribal belly dancing and she teaches other things. And but she also has a fashion company, and it's called From the Studio to the Street is her motto. And she'll be presenting dancers in various styles on one of our stages this year. So that's a promotional opportunity for her. So that we do as well. There are other sponsors. If you're interested in being involved in this in any way, you go to www.danceparade.org. That's one word, Dance Parade, run together, DANCEPARADE, danceparade.org. And you can register, look up sponsorship. Any information you're looking for can easily be found there, including this map and all the graphics that you need to understand what we do.
And also for me, you can go to www.fuchsiadance.com. It's spelled FUSHA dance.com. And you can go there and find my schedule. I teach tonight, actually. So guys, come out tonight at Kumbe. Kumbe is located in Restoration Plaza, and it's on the 3rd floor, and it's an amazing dance class with live drums. Wow. And we include live drummers because live drumming actually is healing. It raises our vibrations. Live music, period, raises the vibration, which also raises our immune system, which also makes us healthier. It's a connection.
Why don't you tell them where Restoration Plaza is?
Yes, Restoration Plaza is on Fulton, 1368 Fulton, between Brooklyn Avenue and Nostrand Avenue.
Okay, not so far. Guys, many of us are here local Brooklyn folks, so I think this is quite useful information. There are many parades in New York City. I think almost every weekend some kind of parade takes place. Whether there is, I don't think there is a rain day for parade. Macy's parade will take place no matter what. Like, and many parades will not change the date. What is the distinction between all the other parades and a dance parade? People dance during the Halloween parade or Thanksgiving or Mermaid parade. This but specifically devoted to dance. Like, is there any particular distinction that makes it unique?
Absolutely. I think because initially when it started, we had intention, the intention that we wanted to get the laws changed. Mm-hmm. And so we had an intention to get the laws changed. And so I think that's what makes it so amazing, because it brought so many people together and the laws changed. It happened in 2017.
And what's the future now that you accomplished that?
So every year we have a theme. This year it's movement of the people. Mm-hmm. And we're starting with the native people, the people that were in this territory. This is the unceded homeland of the Lenape people that lived here before Europeans, colonists came. Mm-hmm. So we start with an acknowledgement of the Lenape people and the circle dance, mm-hmm. and then we acknowledge all the people that New York has drawn to it over the centuries. Mm-hmm. The diversity of the parade is the single biggest thing. I mean, you mentioned three of our sister parades, the Pride March, the Mermaid Parade and the Halloween Parade are similar to us in meaning that they're all inclusive, but we're the only one that is focused specifically on dance. And the diversity that's embodied in dance. My favorite moment in the parade is before the parade starts, mm-hmm. when 10,000 dancers are on one block on 21st Street between Broadway and Park Avenue, and they see each other, mm-hmm. because we tend to work in studios separate mm-hmm. from each other, mm-hmm. and we don't recognize how we're part of something that's much bigger than we usually imagine. And that's my favorite moment. It's the recognition that, like, look at all this. This is amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
It's very close proximity. One question that we haven't agreed yet to speak, but maybe you can still answer for me. Like we just spoke, there are so many parades in the city, and you all kind of communicate with each other. What is the advantage of being friends with other parades and promote your parade on their platform and their platform, like promote their parades with you? So, for example, this fashion season, I was filming a lot of different fashion shows, and I seen a collaboration of different producers. Like, let's say they could not afford, let's say, one venue on their own. Maybe 3 or 4 different producers would bring each one, let's say, 5, 6 fashion designers, and they got the venue together. So I seen also collaboration between the sharing experience between different parade organizers, so they make the experience better for each one. How do you guys come along? Because everybody competes for attention. Everybody competes. Our parade should be like the best one. Like how it's possible to make everybody win?
That's the healthy competition that makes New York great, right? There's always, but we support one another. They're not on our weekend. We're not on their weekend. We go to these parades, and we sometimes steal the talent. So Julian Sanjavan, who was our parade producer this year, we stole directly from the Pride March. He's the Pride March parade producer. We saw what he did. We thought, we got to have this guy.
But we also forgot to mention that one of the advantages, going back to the former question, was that actually Dance Parade hires artists to do outreach in schools, mm-hmm. in daycares with elderlies, in parks, the recreation in parks. We go out and we do residencies for like 10 weeks or so, and then we bring them to the parade. We bring the schools, we bring the elderlies, and they do the parade. So I think that's an amazing aspect of Dance Parade.
Mm-hmm. And we also pay for performances on the the teaching stage, the main stage, and site-specific. There are several sites in Tompkins Square Park. We take over the entire park for 4 hours. So we support the dance community by giving them jobs, including the Community Engagement Project, which Fumi has been a part of for many years, teaching in community centers, schools, elderly facilities. And those people all come in. It's their dream to dance on Broadway, and this is how they get to live it.
That's right.
What is the process? So I have 2 more closing questions, and then I'll let you go. So my first question is, what is the process for the folks when they participate in the parade as media? Let's say like someone like me, and I don't want to have a steady camera and tripod, just everybody pass me by and just film them. I want to be literally kind of involved, move with the dancers, the camera move with the with the performances, so like film the audience. Like, is there a process for the media to be part of the parade? Go ahead.
So Rebecca Miles, who arranged this interview, is our publicity chair. and and so she's the person that you'd be in touch with, and she sorts all that out. The press is all credentialed, and this takes place before the parade. You register before, you pick up your credentials, and then
I did it. I wrote them, and guess what? Rebecca even sent me some folks for the interview. So this is possible to be part of the parade. My second closing question is, New York is losing so many jobs, let's say, to China. People produce cheap equipment, cheaper products in China, ship it here. But I don't think it's possible to doing dancing schools. Like, you can learn a little bit on YouTube videos and stuff, but if you want to have a physical teacher, it has to be right here in New York. So all those dance schools, I don't think they will go away, and the people will be studying this remotely. If you want to dance, you want to have physical proximity, you can see those folks. How the parade kind of promotes, like, you already touched on the local jobs, but do you think those jobs will not disappear to the international competition, for that matter?
Because there's always a wave coming in as there's a wave going out. This is the way New York has always, immigrant groups come, and then the Chinese have now become the largest, so you mentioned them, and we work with Better Chinatown. Byork Lee, our Grand Marshal, grew up in Chinatown. She had a Chinese father, Indian mother, grew up right in Chinatown, and they're always there. And in terms of encouraging people, you asked about, yes, bring a chair. You can line the entire parade route. The best places to watch are obviously opposite the grandstand, or go to the grandstand in the park, and at the beginning of the parade where the circle dance will be. But if our dance police, which is, I'm wearing a dance police T-shirt, catches you not dancing, they will write you a summons, and on the back are invitations to various dance schools where you can remediate by learning to dance a little bit, so you won't look so stiff in the crowd.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think those guys have not only dance parade, but quite a bit of humor and fun at the event. Let's check it out. What is the Instagram and Facebook page, and how people can look it up?
Yes. Okay, my Instagram is Fusha Dance, F-U-S-H-A Dance. And my Facebook is Fusha Dance, F-U-S-H-A Dance. My website is www.fushadance.com. That's F-U-S-H-A dance.com. And my classes are tonight at Kumbe at 6, and Fridays at Shambhala Yoga and Dance. I'm on at 7. This week, Shambhala is not happening, guys, so come to class tonight so we can practice for the dance parade, guys. Yes, we can practice for the dance parade. Come on, let's go.
So, hashtag Dance Parade NYC would be right. Well, the website is danceparade.org, but you will find it here. It's at the bottom of this poster. But so we get a shot of this. It'll have all the information, including the map, with all the highlights.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think it's fun. I'll definitely be there. Hopefully, if nothing happens, it's a week before my daughter's birthday, so I'm sure the whole family will be excited to dance. and hopefully you will come to join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, today Mr. Great has the honor to have XL in our studio. As you can see on his shirt, he has his name and his brand on his t-shirt, and we will talk about what XL does and what is XL Motorsports and what is XL Media TV is about. Go ahead. Your turn.
How you doing, Alex?
How are you? Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
Well, I'm Mr. XL from XL Motorsports, XL Media TV, creative director of the company. Pretty much a media company, photography and video services available, covering any event that brings family and friends together.
Cool. Where are you guys based? Are you in Brooklyn, New Jersey? Where are you?
We're based out in Brooklyn, born and raised in Brooklyn, so we pretty much cover the Brooklyn and all the 5 boroughs.
When people rent, let's say, antique car for the filming, what are the keys and how does it work? How do you go to the clubs that have antique cars? You look for friends. You go on Facebook. Craigslist? How do people find a proper car for filming?
Well, we've been part of we established ourselves within the car community and the car industry, and we pretty much cover every and as much car event and automotive events in the 5 boroughs that happen. So we're really involved in the car community. We do antiques, we do exotics, we do import shows, muscle car shows, custom car shows, and we pick up our friends and clientele from there.
Having an expensive car of that stature is expensive hobby. Not everybody can afford a garage with a couple 4 or 5 cars of that stature. And those people don't need really the money. They get paid they doing this for fun. What is the process? How to find? Let's say it's a $500 for a shoot, $1,000 for a shoot. It's who you know. How it's to get the best value. How to find the proper, really cool car for, let's say, a wedding or event or film, and not break a buck.
Well, it all depends on the client, what the client's budget is, what they're looking for, what's the look they're looking for, be it antique, be it exotic.
Is there any shortcuts? Let's say I give you, let's say, footage and of your car, film for you, and you give me use your car for free. Those people have the footage of their car already. So is there any suggestions how to? Everybody wants to pay less, whatever the price is. How do I save? How do I pay half price? How do I get it for free? Is there any suggestions in that sense, to get best value?
The best value you could do is, yes, if you have friends who have cars, can I borrow your car for a shoot? Obviously that is free and you bring it to. But if I got to provide a vehicle for either your shoot, for your filming, then yes, I have to pay the owner of the vehicle. And then there's liability, gas, transportation, and so forth like that.
So what are the $500, $1,000? What are the basic levels where people can start booking the antique cars?
Your basic is going to be pretty much $1.25 an hour and on up, based on length of time, location, how far the person has to travel, to the location of the shoot.
Let's talk about filming inside of the car. One of the things that I do sometimes, I don't have access to Bric or other and I film something that I cannot film at Bric, so I could use, let's say, my car as the my studio, and let's say I have lenses that allows me to film from very short distance, and I'll be, let's say, with my client, let's say, on the front seat, so the client is watching what I'm doing and how it's supposed to be done on the driver's seat. I'll be on the passenger seat, and the subjects that we film, whether it's a love story or it's a sketch or whatever, we're filming on the back seat. What is the best way to kind of film inside of the car? Is there any particular advice, especially like in the winter, in the summertime, people can film, let's say outside. There are plenty of parks and stuff, but in the wintertime, when you need to travel to your subjects in a long distance, and the studios might be not available or cost money, car could be, it's a tiny space, but it's still very intimate production could be done. Is there any particular suggestion that you can provide?
Yeah, well, you have a few options with that. If we're doing a still, we could still do a vehicle inside of a photo studio. But if we're doing a shot where it has to be moving, either I'll have a GoPro mounted on the dash, which will provide the HD footage, 180D or 4K footage. We could have different attachments to the side windows, so this way again.
What is the best way to light up the car inside? Because a hard light kind of gives big shadows, and you want to have a soft feel that is inside of the car. At the same time, sun moves, and you might have during the shoot, let's say you start in early, and then the sun moves, and the shadows kind of move. You move your car with it, like you move the sun. What do you do?
Depending on the camera, we could use a lot of ND filters, to darken it. Obviously, your different measurements inside on the camera will darken it, which you could change within pre-production.
I don't think you can put it on the camera, because I'm filming with the camera, and there is no room. There is a roof, unless it's open. So I have the light separately from the camera.
Right, but I'm saying you're gonna use. Sometimes you can use natural lighting. Okay. You could also change that in pre-production, and then you could use LED lighting, which is battery operated, laid on
very light, very small,
and laid on the lap of the subject, and maneuver it all different around areas. You can use.
They look like a villain. Say when I laid out the light from underneath, the light coming. It's very unusual.
It depends on the kind of look you're trying to have.
Okay, my next question would be, how do you film, from the car outside? Let's say I do a lot of parades, and my car is moving, and people around me, and I need to film the parade. Or a car is moving in interesting park and settings, so I need to mount basically, and I do a lot of live streaming, so which means that I have one camera from my phone on Facebook, one camera on YouTube, so I have a number of a couple of 2-3 tablets, 2-3 phones filming at the same time, and a couple of GoPros mount. So what are the best ways to mount the gear, and just in case, God forbid, there is an accident, you don't want those little GoPro, they're heavy, and they in your face, that can bring some damage. How do you mount your equipment?
Well, again, you could mount equipment on the glass. You also, if
the car is moving,
it against on speed. So again, you can't be moving, 30, 40 miles an hour. If you're filming, you have to be moving at a slower pace. It's not you're not filming a car chase, anything like that.
Why not?
Well, then that calls for another vehicle at the same speed, filming, which again increases the budget. So you can do a couple of things. If it's you could have a cameraman on a bike. You could have a cameraman on a skateboard or on a scooter, driving alongside the vehicle as the vehicle's moving. If it's a different kind of a shot, you have the car driving, and you have another vehicle at the same speed with apparatus camera hanging overhead. Shooting.
Wow, so you use probably cranes and stuff like that. Cool. If folks would like maybe to collaborate with you and maybe hire you and or use your services, what is your Instagram or Facebook page? How do they find you?
We're on anything. You could find us all on Google, but on Instagram we at XL Motor. For XL Media TV, we're at XL Media TV. We're on Twitter as Extreme Lincoln, and we're on Flickr, We have our own site, which is www.extremelincoln.com, which has all our services, pictures, archives, and everything like that. And we are also on YouTube at XL Motor, XL Media.
You local Brooklyn, this is Brooklyn Studios. This is Bric. You should come here more often. The studios is free, equipment is free. So I don't know if you ever been here before, but it's pretty decent.
I've done a few classes.
Yeah. So you know of existence of the space. Cool. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have more questions, please comment, and we might have Axel back in our interviews again for you. Thank you.
To you live.